The WWE Diva Search, which ran from 2003 through 2007, is a relic from another time. Not only were the women on the roster still called divas, the focus was far more on sex appeal than in-ring ability. Yet quite a few major stars emerged from it by proving themselves in the ring. Michelle McCool was in the first televised Diva Search, and she went on to be the first contestant to win the Divas Championship. McCool actually didn't win her Diva Search competition, but she nonetheless has become one of WWE's best-known stars from the Divas era, especially when it came to her work in the ring. McCool was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame ahead of WrestleMania 41 in 2025 by her husband, The Undertaker.
The Hall of Fame season is upon us. And I would like to tell you right now that you will be inducted.
Though she tried out some on-screen backstage roles and did some in-ring training in WWE's developmental territories, McCool started working pretty quickly, getting in the ring by early 2005. She became the inaugural Divas champion in 2008 and held the gold for 5 months. McCool then won the WWE Women's Championship in 2009, becoming the first woman to have ever held both titles. She went on to unify the belts at Night of Champions in 2010. McCool was perhaps most memorably aligned with Layla in their team LayCool, which formed in 2009. There weren't women's tag titles at the time, so they each held half of their championships. They were involved in one of the era's more controversial angles when they were feuding with Mickie James, who they deemed Peggy James, in a bullying storyline. McCool said she was never comfortable with it. Since retiring from the ring in 2011 after a loser leaves WWE match against Layla, McCool has made multiple appearances. She was part of the 2018, 2022, and 2023 Women's Royal Rumble matches, and was also an entrant in a Battle Royal at the first Evolution. McCool now serves as a mentor, like her husband, on WWE LFG Legends and Future Greats. Candice Michelle was a Diva Search contestant in 2004. She was hired by WWE despite losing and having come in with only modeling and acting experience. Michelle would go from a makeup artist gimmick to winning her first and only women's championship in 2007. She was the first former Diva Search contestant to win that title. Michelle competed in the usual bra and panties matches and lingerie fashion shows throughout her career, but would also get involved in storylines with a bit more substance. She also got traded back and forth between Raw and SmackDown many times over the years. At one point, she aligned herself with Torrie Wilson to feud with 2005 Diva Search winner Ashley Massaro. Michelle left WWE in 2009. Her contract expired over that summer. She retired from in-ring competition on the independent circuit after she defeated Lisa Marie Varon, who wrestled in WWE as Victoria at House of Hardcore 36 in December 2017. Michelle has made sporadic WWE appearances in recent years. In 2019, she captured the 24/7 championship from Kelly Kelly, but would lose it to Alundra Blaze. Layla L., who was usually referred to as just Layla during her time in WWE, won the 2006 Diva Search. She initially started her WWE journey on SmackDown, but was moved to ECW to join Kelly Kelly's Extreme Exposé in January 2007. Before teaming with McCool as LayCool, she also managed William Regal when she was drafted back to Raw. Layla retired the WWE Women's Championship, holding alongside McCool as co-champion, when it was unified with the Divas title in 2010. Layla then won the Divas Championship in April 2012 after a year-long hiatus due to injury. Layla retired in 2015. Her final match was against Emma in July of that year. She was never a cast member on Total Divas, but she did make a guest appearance in the 3rd season. Since retiring from in-ring competition, Layla hasn't worked on the independent scene and hasn't made any appearances in WWE, even for a Royal Rumble. She has said the door isn't closed on a return, however. Outside the ring, it's hard to argue that any other Diva Search contestant has come even close to the mainstream success of the Bella twins. Some fans may not even know that Nikki and Brie Bella were in the competition. That's because they tried out for the 2006 Diva Search but didn't actually make the cut. They were eventually signed to developmental deals in June 2007 and trained in Florida Championship Wrestling. They debuted on the main roster in August 2008 and would quickly become a popular tag team with their twin magic role reversal during matches. The twins were both Divas champions, with Brie capturing the gold first, but only once. Nikki held the title twice, with her second reign lasting for 301 days, making her the longest reigning Divas champion of all time, breaking AJ Lee's record. Brie retired from in-ring competition in 2018, with Nikki following after her main event match against Ronda Rousey at Evolution. The pair would part ways from WWE for a bit in 2023 after their contracts expired, briefly going by their real last name Garcia in their outside business ventures. The Bellas are best known to fans outside of the wrestling world for their roles in E! Network reality series Total Divas, which was so successful the twins got a show all on their own called Total Bellas. Now, back in the WWE fold, the twins have made Women's Royal Rumble appearances. Nikki also got into the ring at the 20-woman Battle Royal at Evolution in 2025, after her match with Liv Morgan was cancelled due to injury. The twins were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2021. In recent years, Maria Kanellis has committed herself to improving women's wrestling, and the motivation likely stemmed from what she experienced in WWE during the Divas era. Kanellis was a contestant in the 2004 Diva Search, where she placed 5th, but was still signed to WWE as a backstage interviewer while also training in Ohio Valley Wrestling. Her first matches in late 2004 and early 2005 were all lingerie pillow fights. Kanellis went on to compete in matches including a Divas Battle Royal, bra and panties matches, and more. Kanellis would also take bumps from men throughout her in-ring career, however, including a Samoan drop from Umaga and a Stone Cold Stunner. Her time in WWE also led to her appearing on the cover of Playboy magazine. Kanellis left WWE in 2010 after she was released from her contract.
I wanted more freedom. I wanted to be able to have more control over my character at the time.
Kanellis joined Ring of Honor in 2011 alongside her future husband, Mike Bennett. She continued to work in ROH as well as other independent promotions and New Japan Pro Wrestling. She and Bennett worked in TNA for a year before returning to WWE in 2017. In that run, Kanellis briefly held her first and only WWE Championship, the 24/7 title. Kanellis and Bennett were released due to pandemic budget cuts, and the First Lady of ROH returned to the promotion until the company closed down prior to being purchased by Tony Khan in 2021. Kanellis joined AEW alongside her husband in August 2022 before briefly moving back to ROH. She announced her departure from AEW in early 2025. Maryse's love story with both her husband, The Miz, and WWE started with the 2006 Diva Search. Maryse may not have won the competition, but she was still hired. The French-Canadian star spent time in developmental before joining the SmackDown roster in 2008, where she won her first Divas Championship after a few tries. She was drafted over to Raw the following year, where she won her next title in 2010, making her the first diva to hold the gold more than once. Though also subjected to the sillier, more risque side of some WWE matches throughout her initial run in her Divas era, Maryse was able to showcase her in-ring ability until her release in October 2011. She married The Miz in 2014 and returned to WWE in 2016 as his manager, appearing on the episode of Raw after WrestleMania 32 to help Miz capture the Intercontinental Championship. The pair also got involved in a few mixed tag team feuds, like their match against John Cena and Nikki Bella at WrestleMania 33. Maryse's final feud alongside her husband would come at the end of 2021 and into early 2022, when they would take on Edge and Beth Phoenix in a loss. Maryse was also featured on Total Divas, and in 2018, she and The Miz got their own reality show on the USA Network, Miz and Mrs., which highlighted their major moves across the country and their parenting journeys. Christy Hemme was the winner of the 2004 Diva Search, making her the first winner to receive a contract with WWE. She was already a successful model by the time she joined the contest. She had participated in the 2004 Lingerie Bowl. She started her wrestling career on Raw and feuded with the runner-up to the Search, Carmella DeCesar. Throughout her time in WWE, Hemme would also feud with Trish Stratus, Victoria, Molly Holly, Gail Kim, and more. After a year on the main roster, Hemme was sent to OVW before being released in 2005 with budget cuts cited as the reason. She wouldn't be out of the ring for long, however. She signed with TNA Wrestling in April 2006. Though Hemme didn't win any titles in her TNA career, she was heavily involved across the board, from competing in the ring to ring announcing and interviewing stars backstage. She also hosted TNA Global Impact, the promotion's online show. Hemme trained under then-agent Scott D'Amore in between TV tapings. She officially entered singles competition in the promotion in 2008. Hemme stayed with TNA through April 2016, having become part of its creative team in April 2014. After her departure, Hemme, Lita, and Gail Kim announced Kayfabe in March 2020. It was meant to be a new wrestling show inspired by true events turned into a scripted drama. The show's debut was delayed and it never launched, with the team citing the financial impact of the pandemic. In 2024, Hemme once again joined TNA, this time as its head of marketing, but she left again the following year in the midst of shakeups within the promotion. Eve Torres was the winner of the 2007 Diva Search, the final year of the competition. Torres first became a backstage interviewer as she trained in Ohio Valley Wrestling. She worked her way into in-ring competition through things like bikini contests, costume matches, and dance-offs. Her first real storyline began in 2009 when she feuded with McCool. She defeated yet another former Diva Search contestant, Maryse, to win her first Divas Championship in 2010. Torres became an authority figure on screen and memorably became involved with Zack Ryder in a romantic storyline, which turned into a love triangle involving John Cena. That led to her eventual heel turn. She'd become a 3-time Divas champion. Torres asked for her release from WWE in January 2013. Soon after, she lost the Divas Championship to Caitlyn on the 20th anniversary episode of WWE Raw. Torres was offered a role on E! Network's reality series Total Divas, but declined. She went on to focus on her role as an instructor with the jiu-jitsu pioneers, the Gracie family, which she married into in 2014.
I am the co-creator of the Women Empowered Self-Defense Program, and I'm a leader in our jiu-jitsu organization, Gracie University.
While she hasn't stepped back into the ring, Torres has made a few appearances in WWE in the years since her retirement. She appeared on the pre-show before Evolution in 2018 and most recently appeared on the Raw reunion episode in July 2019. Taryn Terrell was known as Tiffany in WWE and also got her start in the Diva Search. She competed in the 2007 season and made it to the Final 8. She was signed to a developmental deal in February 2008 and trained in FCW, where she worked alongside the Bella Twins, Alicia Fox, AJ Lee, and more. Tiffany served as the first general manager of WWE's ECW rebrand. She made her in-ring debut in June 2008 and competed in a costume contest at Cyber Sunday a few months later. She largely worked in multi-diva tag team matches throughout her time in WWE. She was also in the infamous 25 Diva Battle Royal won by Santina Marella at WrestleMania 25. After ECW ended, Tiffany occasionally wrestled and served as a manager valet. She was finally released from her WWE contract in November 2010 following a suspension due to a real-life domestic abuse incident with then-husband Drew McIntyre. She wrestled on the independent scene for 3 years before debuting in Ohio Valley Wrestling, which was then TNA's developmental branch. She debuted for TNA proper in August 2012 and became a referee for the Knockouts division, eventually getting into a feud with Gail Kim due to her bad calls as a ref. Terrell held the Knockouts championship for a then-record 279 days before she left the company in January 2016. She made a few more appearances throughout the years in TNA and also wrestled in NWA from 2021 to 2022, where she announced her retirement from the ring.
There's no one more special than
Brooke Tessmacher is best known for her work in TNA, but she initially got her start in professional wrestling through WWE's Diva Search. Tessmacher competed in the 2006 season, but failed to make the top 8. Despite not making it, she was offered a developmental contract and trained in Deep South Wrestling. She debuted in ECW in January 2007. She joined Kelly Kelly and Layla in Extreme Exposé, performing weekly dance segments. Tessmacher was released from her WWE contract in November 2007 and wouldn't return to the wrestling business until March 2010 in TNA as Miss Tessmacher, assistant to Eric Bischoff. Tessmacher soon got back in between the ropes, going on to win multiple championships in TNA, including the Knockouts Tag Team Championship alongside Tara, known as Victoria in WWE. Tessmacher won the Knockouts Championship 3 times. Her final feud in the company was against Gail Kim, to whom she lost the Knockouts Championship. Tessmacher failed to advance in the TNA World Title Series in 2015. Soon after, she announced her departure from the company, which was later revealed to be due to her first pregnancy. Tessmacher returned on an episode of Impact in January 2017 and worked a few matches against Sienna and Deonna Purrazzo before she revealed once again she was no longer under contract with TNA.